Dogs are often returned to shelters for behavioral issues, but contrary to belief, this is not to their own accord. It is usually the human's fault for improper care. It's common knowledge that upon Americans, dogs are very popular pets, and people may assume they're easy to take care of, right? They're not exotic animals. Everyone seems to have one, but contrary to belief, they are not easy animals to take care of and require proper training. This is hard work, and if novice pet owners are not up to the task, they really shouldn't be having a dog in the first place. And proper training is very specific on techniques, what works, what doesn't, and is vital to having a dog with a good life. Punishing dogs can often have the opposite effect, but dogs must know right from wrong. There are 4 quadrants of dog training: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment. Positive is adding to the equation, negative is taking away. So think as positive, I'll add treats, I'll add praise, it's adding something. You could add hitting as well. You could add a prong collar. You could add a choke chain. Negative is taking away something, such as treats, attention, the expectancy of a punishment. That would be negative reinforcement. Studies confirm the owner's rating for their dogs during tasks was better using the positive reinforcement rather than negative or positive punishment, which is adding hitting or abusive tools. If punishing your dog from wrongdoing doesn't work, then what does? Negative punishment takes away any positive reinforcement taking place. It's important to focus on what you want from your dog rather than what they don't want. You don't want to leave them being confused and not knowing what they're supposed to do, so it's important to lead them in the right direction. For instance, if your puppy is play buying and doesn't know any better, simply stop all play and attention until your puppy decides to display a calm or more likable behavior. A puppy doesn't know that biting humans is bad. That's how they played with their litter mates. So they're not aware, and then when you yell at them for it, they're just confused. Some owners argue that they use positive punishment and it works. In the study, sourced in study of Vietnamese dog owners, although 90% used rewards often or very often, 80% also used positive punishment, typically leash jerks, scolding, or holding the dog's muzzle. For most owners, some form of positive punishment. No wonder so many pet canines have behavioral issues, because most people, even if you don't want to acknowledge it, will yell at their dog. In order to prevent behavioral issues, what you need to do instead is prevent their rambunctious behaviors rather than correct them every time they come about. This includes providing proper enrichment to make sure your dog's mind is full and content and they have gotten all of that extra energy out, which actually is better done by using their brain, using something such as food puzzles, a frozen Kong, toys. Good dog owners will always provide an activity for their pup when they're busy to provide structure whenever possible. And it's important when you're working to always give your pet attention when you have a break. Timeout is used with positive reinforcement for appropriate behavior and added exercise. So if you do need to put your dog in for a timeout, The crate is not a bad thing, but if you put them in there with a frozen Kong, you get a break, and they don't think this is a punishment. Dogs need consistency to understand you. Inconsistency leads to a lot of confusion. Canines only know our language as much as a 2-year-old human does. So imagine someone screaming gibberish at you and you don't understand because you exhibited a behavior that was fine yesterday. If I pull on the leash one day and then get yelled at it for the next day, they're not going to understand. That's why there needs to be strict set rules for everything you do with your dog. We decided to domesticate dogs, so it's our job to provide proper care and training that is not harmful to their well-being. Wouldn't everyone rather have a good relationship with their pet rather than an unstable one filled with inconsistency and fear? I want my dogs to listen to me, not fear me if he doesn't.